everybody, my name's Neil from Classic Car Holidays, and I'm joined here today by Ivan, or Ivansky, as he's known to the Bulgarian Trabant community. Today, Ivan's going to talk us through panels and what to do about them when they're not in great shape, and hopefully sort of get us from a bad situation into a good situation. So I will hand over now to Ivan.
Yeah, hello Neil, hello everybody. Today we're gonna discuss the topic quickly of panels in painting, and I'm gonna start off by saying that, as you may know, the Trabant is a steel body platform which is glued on, which has glued on panels, and these panels, if you don't know, are glued with a glue which has the technology of the 50s. And the big problem with that is that this glue over time tends to break apart, and this leads to the panels being unglued. And when you have this situation, you have this flex over the whole body. When you go over bumps, when you're cornering, you have these problems with doors not fitting, not closing correctly. And every once in a while, if you use the wrong glue, and once in a lifetime if you use the proper one, you will have no longer problems with the panels coming glued off the body. And this is why we're gonna talk today about this topic, because it's a big thing. Other cars are not glued on. Well, maybe some modern cars are glued on today. Everything is glued on, fitted on, screwed on, what have you nowadays. But the Trabant did this in 1959, so it's a pretty innovative technology back in the day. It was something, the Duraplast was something like the carbon fiber today.
So this first picture, what piece are we seeing here? What bit of the car are we seeing?
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to see it, but this is a front wing being taken off, and this is a place where the factory added glue, but it was not supposed to do so. And these are some mistakes that I've seen on later model cars, where they rushed things and couldn't fix them properly. The panels are glued on, and on the bottom side, this rubber sealing, which fits the underneath on the lower part of every panel. And this is there because it lets drainage out. And this is a very big problem that I have seen on vehicles that haven't been repaired properly. They put on glue on this same place, and this leads to rust, as you can see on this picture. And this is why I've chosen it as the first one. And on the following one, we can see all the fasteners that I've come up with, modern equivalent of them. On the rivets, these rivets are very big, and you need a proper size puller for them, like this one that I've got over here behind me. And the rest you can see by comparing them that they are for different places, like the trim underneath, on the roof. You have 4 different screws that need to be used. The other big topic about these panels is how to glue them, because the factory used the glue which over time hardens, it brittles, it becomes brittle, and it falls apart. For example, my first car, I glued it with the wrong glue, and it now needs regluing again. But I've ever since used polyurethane-based glue, and this glue is becomes hard, but not too much. It's something of a rubber composite, and you can have it in this sort of application, this caulking gun. You put it in a sausage, and you will need probably 6 or 7 of these in order to glue the whole vehicle. This is a completely standard glue, polyurethane-based glue. It's used throughout the whole industry. Everywhere, it's people build their houses with it.
That looks like you've taken the top off. Or is that the windscreen?
Yeah. This is I've taken the roof off a car, and this is how I've applied. But this is a different type of glue, because they'll use one glue on all of the other panels, and one on a different one on the roof.
You use two types of glue. One is the polyurethane for the panels, and another,
Yes.
and there's another kind of glue which we have an example of here. Just so anyone watching this is understands clearly, good quality polyurethane for sticking panels to
Yes.
the bodywork.
Yes.
And what's the other glue, and what's it for?
It's a polymer glue. It's a polymer based, and it's not that it doesn't become that rubbery of effect, because when you hammer the roof back in, you have to hammer it down like a tin foil. But and when you do this with the polyurethane glue, it leaves a huge mess. And this polymer glue does the job pretty much the same, but it has it's easier for me to apply it on the roof on this particular occasion.
You're choosing to use the polymer glue for very practical reasons, but only in the case of the roof.
Yes, only in the case of the roof. And once the car is painted, these aluminum strips around the roof, I glue them on again with the same glue that I used to glue the roof on. When you press the roof on, it comes out, and this is you just need to put enough glue. This is a brand new panel from Duraplast. This is their color. They're brown polished, brown stuff.
Right. So this is without any treatment, any paint work, or anything like that. This is how this is how it's delivered.
This is how it's delivered. This is a brand new panel being installed, and as you can see, I've countersunk the screws so that when you put lining on top, it doesn't interfere with them. Yep. And on the second one, you can see that I'm trying to line up the gap between the door and the panel. And this is something that you must do on every new panel. I do this on every old panel that I install. And one tip top, if I can say so, is that I can give is that when you are regluing all the panels, you have to do one side at a time. For example, you do the left side completely, because when the glue hasn't hardened yet, it's still pretty much soft. You can meet the panels perfectly. And this is something they did in the factory, but in I would say a very crude way. I also re-glue the bonnet, and you can see these new rivets that I use, aluminum ones with this that I attach with this. Their diameter is exactly the same as the original ones, and they have this factory finish that people want. I use these rivets on the quarter panels and on the front panels and underneath the door. They're the same rivets.
How do you get the cloth? How do you remove the cloth? Because that's all glued on as well.
Well, it's glued on, but it's glued on with what you'd call it, an old type of shoe glue.
Yeah.
It comes off pretty easily.
So you pull it off.
Yeah, I pull it off and I clean the surfaces and I reglue it on again using more modern glue. And you can find
the same kind of almost like shoe leather glue as well.
Yeah, it's the same. It's a rubber glue, if I'm honest. And on the other picture, on the next picture, you can see this is actually my personal car right now. I firstly paint them under the bonnet and on the inside, and then I prepare the outside for. This is prepped for filler. And this is where I should point out that the original panels should be prepped differently than the ones that have been already painted by the factory. Meaning that I use this product which painters use to spray over brand new plastic bumpers. It's a special adhesive that needs to be sprayed on the brand new panel, and then you put on primer and then paint.
Okay, so where if someone wanted to follow this video and go and do that, what would they need to go into a store and look out for?
I think it was called Plastufix. It's a transparent bonding agent for plastics only.
Okay.
And this is what you need to apply before applying primer.
So what kind of paint are we putting on top of Duraplast?
You can paint it with anything, if I'm honest. The factory used a single-stage enamel paints, which, if I'm honest, weren't very good. What you can use today is a two-stage, two components, but you can use also a base coat and a clear coat system. You have your paint, and you add thinner, and you add hardener. And the factory used paints which you only add thinner, like the sort of paint you use to paint your doorway or something like this. But the two stages really becomes very rich, very glossy effect. You have this, but it's a more what you call it, expensive job to do, and that's why people tend not to do it. As you can see, the car being already prepped and into the paint booth, and what you can see here is the same vehicle, my car. And on the next one, you can see the end result, which is, I think, more than satisfactory. This is after the car has been assembled, and this color is an original color, by the way. It's called Crystal Blau. People tend to think that Trabants were only painted with a couple of colors, but they had a lot of nice colors. I'm gonna say, not nice. Elegant colors, which weren't very common, and the most common ones are the Papyrusweiß. Papyrusweiß is what they call them in Germany. This is paper white, basically, and Gletscherblau, which translated means glacier blue, icy blue.
Well, look. Once again, I've certainly learned a great deal. Really appreciate your time and your expertise. I think your Trabi, does your Trabi have a name?
No, I don't call my cars names.
All right, okay.
They're just cars.
Lots of UK people give a name to their Trabi, but your blue Trabi looks fantastic, and yeah, the results are clear to see. Ivan, thank you so much for joining me today. Perhaps we'll have a conversation about what you can tell us and what you can show us the next time we meet. But for now, thanks a lot, and see you again soon.
Thank you again. It was a pleasure talking to you, and see you again.